So back to the class, back to the topic. In last class we studied how free electron clouds helps in holding all the atoms together in metal, whether it is very hard or soft. But one word which was absent there, which is density. Density is what? Density actually represents you about any particular element or a compound or a substance, that how much effort that substance exhibiting in holding all the particles together in a smallest possible space. How much molecules are, or how much particles are or can be compacted in a smallest possible volume, and that is density. In metals we study that metals in the periodic table have the largest tendency or highest tendency to compactly pack all the atoms together in a smallest possible volume. Whether it is silver, whether it is iron or aluminium or zinc or cobalt or any metal that we pick from the metallic side of periodic table have their own respective hardness, own respective density, depends upon their atomic number, because atomic number decides how much valence shell electron would be present in any particular atom. Because as you move in periodic table, you will find there are certain types of metals but their valency is different. Number of valence electrons, number of valence shell electrons differ, and valence shell electrons determine how many free electrons there can be in any metal. Because as you increase the number of free electrons in any metal, they automatically starts forming clouds, and these electron clouds holds ions together, hold atoms together. They help in holding all the particles together. Because of that bonding, we call them a metallic bonding. Because in metal all the atoms stay together in a very compact form because of those electron clouds, and that electron clouds usually makes up the fact about density. Because as the number of free electrons increases, the probability also increases of their density will increase with the increase of their valence shell electrons and as the number of free electrons. In so many periodic table elements in metallic form, there are so many hard elements, like there are osmium, there are iron, there are platinum also. So there are elements exhibiting their density because this directly connects with their atomic number and their number of free electrons which are present in that particular element or in a particular sample of metal. From here, from this topic, from density, we will shift our view to the main topic of metal, that is conductivity. What is conductivity? Conductivity is actually what? What is conductivity? Because when you rub two metals, nothing happens there. Like when you rub two non-metals, there are static charges happens. There are electrons jumping from one material to another material and creating a static charge, but that's not happening in metal. Metal is something else. They conduct electricity unless you put a potential difference. So as you show them, as you connect a potential, all the electrons starts flowing in a wire or in a circuit or in any metallic piece. Current starts flowing. That is actually what a metal exhibit. Metal has free electrons, And that free electrons are not just only help to hold the metals together, but also helps in the conductivity of any element, because number of electrons, as number of free electrons increases, this free electrons will also help in the conduction of electric current from one place to another places. It is just because of the electron and the positive ions which are present in any metal, which is not present in non-metal. The way a metal behave is actually different, unique, versatile, which is not present in non-metal. Metal can release their free electrons or valence shell electrons and becomes positively charged atom, but not that same phenomena exhibited by any non-metal like carbon or nitrogen or oxygen. They usually receive electron but not give up their electrons, but metals actually do. Even if we go with conductivity, they also exhibit magnetic effect. They also becomes magnet, like electromagnet. You can also use aluminium, cobalt, nickel, iron like metals to form permanent magnets that we see all around in our homes and our speakers, because they have something, and that something we call magnetic moment. Magnetic moment is actually the behavior or the strength or of any charge or any type of charge. Even if it's a free electron is also a type of tiny magnet. A positive ion is also a type of magnet. There are three ways in which atom can represent its magnetic effect. Why? Basically because this is a metal. Metal has the tendency to represent magnetism because there are nuclear magnetic moment. A nucleus can also exhibit itself as a magnet. A free moving electron can also behave like a tiny magnet, its own particular north and south. In a tiny electron, in a free electron, all that valence shell electron which are present in the valence orbits, like I told you in electronic configuration, there are open orbits, and in open orbits like S2, P2 or S1 or S2, so these are the free electrons which are present in valence shell of any metal, are the electrons which have their own magnetic moment, and they sum their magnetic forces to become a powerful one magnet, one atomic magnet. And so this behavior is repeated by all the magnet, and that's why you get magnets. And just this happens because of the conductive nature of metal. So you can see how metal is versatile in its nature. If we talk about magnetic moment, this topic is actually goes in details. There are so many things which are hidden in magnetic moment and in conductivity and magnetism of metals, but actually we should have to leave this topic here because this is chemistry class. We should have to follow the other topics also. Okay, so up to this topic we have studied how metals valence shell electrons and free electrons helps in representation of different types of behaviors. Metals represents you malleability, ductility, high ductility, sonority. Yes, I forgot about sonority. The way a metal can produce sound, very high pitch, because if you just knock the board, the sound is something very dumb type, like amplitude is not as high as you can produce by hitting any metal. So when two metals collide or you hit any metal or in a ring bell, you can hear the sound is very sharp, because if you collide two metals, the sound wave is actually like this, very high amplitude. But if the same we do with non-metals, the wave is exhibited like this. Actually it's about amplitude and how much how much number of vibrations can compact in a small length. So metals have the tendency to produce sound which has a large pitch, high pitch, and high amplitude. So metallic sounds, the waves which comes from the collision of metals have high amplitude and high pitch also. But these two phenomena are absent in non-metallic collisions, like collision of papers or collision of any two plastic or balls. So that sound is seemed very different because of the low amplitude and low pitch. So there are difference. Okay. And one last point, melting point and boiling point. Melting point and boiling point is what? At the temperature or a temperature at which a metal starts converting itself from solid phase to liquid phase, shift हो जाएगा from solid to liquid, then that point, that temperature at which a metal converts itself into liquid is called the melting point, which is different for different metals that you can see in your chart given in your book. And the boiling point also, the temperature at which a metal starts boiling. So in your chapter, a chart has been given where boiling point and melting point of different elements, different metal elements are given. Metals have the tendency to get melt because they are not compounds, they are pure elements, and still they, because of their interatomic forces, they don't lose them, they don't lose each other at the fraction of time. They just actually trying to hold each other. That's why even they converts into liquid form, their free electrons are holding each electrons with each other. That's why metal converts into liquid phase because of their free electrons which are attracting all the atoms together because of the metallic bond. Still it's there. That's why it gets melt. Okay. In non-metal case, it's not happen. Okay. So in this class we studied some points. We will continue our journey about knowing metals and non-metals more detailed. If you want to know something in detail which I taught, then you can also inform me. Okay.